Dale Hoak is the Chief Information Security Officer at RegScale. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me today. We talked a little bit before we turned the cameras on about shared responsibility. What's the vendor's role and what's the government's role in cloud security? What do you see that dynamic looking like today?
So I really feel that on the government side, clear requirements, right? Understanding what the mission is, understanding what the goals are, right? So here's what I need, here's how we need to get there, and here's how much money you have to work with, right? Because traditionally that's been a shifting minefield, right? Or shifting sand, I should say. When you have clear requirements, then industry can build to those requirements. And then helping knock down the blockers for innovation. Industry wants to give the government and the DoD all of the great tools. We want you to have all the toys, right? We want to empower you to go into harm's way or to do your daily tasks in the most meaningful, rapid way possible and to claim some efficiencies. I think it's industry's responsibility to lean in, embrace that. A good example is FedRAMP 20X, right? That change, I think, is a huge milestone for industry. It brings small market businesses to the forefront. It allows small CSPs to provide critical services easier, right? So, and we're seeing in a lot of the test cases, a lot of success. Knox AI briefed yesterday. I was attending one of those meetings, and they talked about how you can literally do an audit with nothing but AI and then have a 3PAO validated. And the speed that the government gets from innovators like Knox AI leaning in is huge, right? So I think it's incumbent upon industry to make it easy for the government to bring it in. Give a secure product, be open, make sure your SBOMs are published, make sure that the things that you're doing are correct, are right. Stop trying to cut corners, right? Be compliant where you need to, and make it easy for government to say yes, because I think we're in a time where they want to say yes. We just got to make it easy for them to do that.
Are they getting better at making the requirements clear? Because it seems to me in the cyber realm, part of that is incumbent on understanding what the threat landscape looks like.
Correct. And I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a time where the threat landscape was as modified by the geopolitical landscapes as it is right now. But I really believe that they are, or they're making an effort. Again, FedRAMP 20X, zero trust, right? Zero trust is really clear. If you are a zero trust player, here are your principles, you have to abide by them, and then the government can report on them. FedRAMP 20X, coming from controls, right, and going into KSIs, making it very simple simple is a relative term, but making it simple for people to understand what the requirements are and then build to them. So I see an effort there. I see it is getting better. There is obviously room to improve. I think efforts in both the DoD and the federal government really are making very clear we need to make things faster. We need to make things better. We need to do it, and we need to get it out in front of people rapidly. I mean, the executive order yesterday signed by the president for AI, I think, kind of sums up the need for moving.
What would you like to see the agencies and the government as an enterprise do to make sure that they stay out of the compliance business and stay in the cyber defense business?
Well, I think having a better understanding of exactly what the goal is, right? So compliance was never intended to be a whipping stick to keep people in line. It was intended to be a roadmap for security, right? But they lost that vision because vendors stopped using it because they weren't forced to, and then it became regulatory, right? And that's when it got nasty. So let's keep it simple, right? Move from point-in-time reviews into real-time and understand that cyber resiliency is the goal. Good security in the front end should bring compliance on the back end. So by moving to things like KSIs or principles that don't move and are not subjective, make it easier for us to hit the goalpost.
Dale, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much. It was a thrill being here.